We're lucky enough right now to be joined by, from the great state of Florida, Congressman Matt Gaetz. Congressman, great to have you on.
Oh, thanks for having me, John and Amanda. And it's interesting that HSI killed the investigation that Customs and Border Patrol would have thought appropriate. And we all know that Customs and Border Patrol, they interact with a lot of these people with strange stories. And the fact that they flagged this one in particular seems reasonable given the bizarre fact pattern. The attempted assassin was claiming that he was recruiting freedom fighters for Ukraine in Taiwan, Afghanistan, Moldova, other places. And when asked how he resourced such an effort, he said, well, I get the money from my wife. Now, that may very well have been true, but it might not have been. There might have been foreign contacts that were funding this effort on behalf of this American. And if that's true, we would want to know the depth of those communications and of the resources that might have been provided to this person by any of these countries.
Yeah, and you did such a good job asking about that. I want to ask for just a quick follow-up, if Amanda would allow me. The FBI gets tipped off in 2019 to this guy that he might have weapons as a convicted felon. They don't follow up with him. A nurse twice reports this guy to federal authorities in 22 and 23. They don't follow up with him. And then CPB flags this guy, and he's still not followed up with. Whatever happened to say something, see something, say something, do something? It doesn't look like the government follows that anymore.
Well, I'm certainly proud of the CBP officials who said, there's something squirrely here. There needs to be part of our investigative arm that's activated for the thorough review that would be called for. But you're right, at the top levels, there seems to be a mismanagement of the information. And when we had the person who directs Homeland Security investigations before a committee, she didn't have answers as to the basis for not following up with such strange facts encountered at the border. So I think there are people doing it right. But as you see, if you have one link in the chain that's not effectively conveying the information, demanding the follow-up, then you have a real negative outcome like we had where he was able to enter the country and do harm.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah. So many missed opportunities. I mean, all it requires is a little scratch and sniff. It also requires coordination of a lot of these different agencies, Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, Secret Service, even Border Patrol in this case. And we oftentimes find that it's the brass that is stonewalling or creating the clog in the machine, I suppose. It's the rank and file. How can these people be expected to coordinate, at least the rank and file, if the folks above them are not willing to do the work?
Yeah, that lack of coordination has been laid bare by these assassination attempts. And I'll break a little news for you. I had a senior official from the Department of Homeland Security in my office before the second assassination attempt saying that what he has assessed is that there are 5 known assassination teams in the United States, 3 inspired by other governments, 2 that are here that are known domestic assassination teams. And with that, this individual was coming to me concerned that the force protection around President Trump, even prior to that second assassination attempt, was not sufficient for what it needed to be. And the coordination at that level, at the dignitary protection level, is like the bare minimum that we have to do to keep our presidents, our presidential candidates safe while they're on the trail.
So there are 5, I just want to follow up, 5 assassination teams. Are they all targeting Trump? Is it other officials?
Yes. No, wow. I should have been clear about that. 5 teams that we know are targeting Trump. And so that raises real questions about why certain teams were being pulled off of the Trump detail and put on, for example, the Jill Biden detail. Now, we don't want anything bad to happen to Jill Biden, but at the same time, the threat envelope for her was substantially different than the threat envelope around President Trump, and it would not have necessitated pulling assets away from the Trump detail for the Jill Biden detail or the John Bolton detail or any other details that were beefed up. At the same time, the requests from the Trump detail and from the Trump campaign for more security were going unanswered.
Wow. Holy mackerel.
Congressman, I know that you and a number of other problem-solving type members of Congress have probably thought and had conversations about what could be done to at least supplement Secret Service to protect President Trump. What would be your recommendation to the Trump campaign?
President Trump is the last person worried about this, to be honest. I mean, he's worried about his message. He's worried about the safety of the people there. And I think he himself does not reflect on his personal security. And that's why those around him need to. I think that there are ways to augment some extended perimeters with some private security. I've heard Eric Prince, a very smart guy, opine as to what it could take to ensure that folks aren't able to just set up and get this close. I mean, you think about what happened in this second assassination attempt. Someone was able to park outside and plan and prepare and lie in wait for the former president. That should never happen, and it might need some sort of private augmentation to ensure that we keep President Trump safe.
Yeah, good point. Congressman, we got about a minute and a half left. 5 assassination teams. Was this Homeland Security official coming to you as a whistleblower? Was he coming to you in official capacity? And was the Secret Service aware of these assassin teams before July 12th or before this past Sunday? They were.
Yes. So the person was informing me of this information because the Secret Service was aware of the threat profile around President Trump. And again, this was before the second assassination attempt. And the person was coming to me in part to ensure that if they revealed this information, if investigations and reviews brought this to light, that it would be able to be scrutinized and assessed without this person being fired or rat-holed or sent into the closet somewhere. As you and I know, some folks who are the truth tellers tend to find themselves. So our office likes to be, a place of respite for those who can come and say, look, here's what's actually happening. And then we try to get that information before the public in the most responsible way possible. And I think the public should know that the Secret Service was aware of 5 assassination teams at the time they were taking protective assets away from President Trump and redeploying them to other people with less of a risk profile around them.
That is just unbelievable. Congressman, you do such great oversight work. I remember all the great work you did during Russia collusion to unravel that fake scandal. This is a bombshell. We can't thank you enough for bringing this to light. This is very important information. Great to have you on the show.
Thanks. Good to see you, John. Good to see you, Amanda.
You as well.